minerals and they are trace minerals. If an individual wants to study nutrition, you really need to begin with what is the first thing that we would die from if we didn't have it. And that would clearly be oxygen. You can only survive for a few minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, before you have complete brain damage with, in most cases, unless there's low temperatures involved, without oxygen. After that would probably be water. We can maybe live a week without water, and if we push it. And then somewhere in there is also the minerals and the electrolytes. The minerals and the electrolytes are the foundation of all nutrition. So we have nutrients that we must have, like vitamins and amino acids, which are proteins. We have essential fats, which are called essential fats, and fatty acids. And we have deficiency states that you're familiar with, like, for example, the disease scurvy is the deficiency of vitamin C, the medical deficiency of vitamin C. And that'll kill you in about 30 days. 30 to 45 days will kill you if you don't have enough of that, if you don't have any of that vitamin or any source of it, because humans don't make that intrinsically like animals do inside our bodies. So even though it's important to know that the food industry fortifies a lot of foods with vitamins, they really don't fortify them with minerals. And in fact, our soil is depleted of minerals because fertilizer only has NPK, which is nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. So that's only 3 elements out of the 70 plus that we need. So if we're going to give a person nutrition and we start with something that's high up on the scale, like vitamins and amino acids and proteins, but we neglect the minerals, we're going to have problems with success. We're going to have failures. We're going to have individuals that don't follow the rules of biochemistry. They take B vitamins for a few days or a few weeks and they feel better, and then they feel worse. They take a protein combination of maybe isoleucine, leucine, and valine for blood sugar, and it works for a while and then it doesn't work. And in many cases, it's because of minerals. Let me tell you a little story. Many years ago, when I was a new doctor in Minneapolis, I was working on a series of patients that had been referred by a famous Chinese medical doctor that was just well-known and fantastic and had healed a lot of people and was famous for his encyclopedic knowledge of Chinese patent medicines and formulas and herbs and foods and diets. So he was able to figure out what a person needed regarding food and give it to them and cure them. And there were, despite that, just a few people that didn't get well. And they ended up finding their way to me somehow, and I don't know why, because I was pretty new and pretty green and pretty fresh. And they found their way to me and said, "Why am I not better?" And I said, "I don't really know." So I started at the time with the basics, and I said, "What are you eating? And what has the doctor given you? And what are you eating?" And we analyzed their diet, and I did some calculations and found that they were getting a fairly great amount of vitamins, and they were getting a fairly great amount of herbs and wonderful nutraceuticals, many of which were not essential. Like, for example, we can go without dill or burdock or any number of herbs like parsley and never, ever miss them. They're not considered essential nutrients. But there are certain things that we must have or we will die, like vitamin A or vitamin B3 or vitamin B2. If we don't have these things, we will get sick and eventually suffer and get diseases and die. So I looked at the essential nutrients and I said, is there anything that these couple of patients could be missing? And what was wrong with them wasn't terribly important, but the fact was that their Chinese regimen didn't work. So I looked at their diet and I looked at their food and I said, you have real important symptoms of mineral deficiencies. So I found several mineral deficiencies and determined that it looked like they weren't, screaming deficient, like needing to be hospitalized or diagnosed with an actual deficiency, but they were skirting with the line of where an acceptable level of minerals might be. So I gave them a multi-mineral supplement with a multi-trace mineral supplement as well. So we had macro minerals that occur in high doses, things like calcium and magnesium and zinc, and things that occur in low doses like vanadium and chromium and boron. And so I gave them a combination of low-dose trace minerals, of which there are dozens, and high-dose macro minerals, of which there are 6 or 8, depending on how you count them. And lo and behold, in a few weeks, the individuals got better. And funny enough, their Chinese medicines actually began to work again. And I think the reason was quite simple. In biochemistry, minerals are the cofactors or the foundational pieces that are necessary for B vitamins and other vitamins and proteins to make enzymes work in your body. In order for you to start with a protein and make it into a hormone, or start with a vitamin and have it help make anything into anything else in your body chemically. All that is performed by enzymes. And enzymes require these cofactors, and these cofactors are macro and trace minerals. And so the only mistake that the Chinese master had made was not acknowledging the minerals. And so by supplementing the patient with these minerals and identifying those deficiency syndromes, I was able to correct the tiny little piece that the doctor missed, because they were 99% there. They just needed minerals. And it can take up to 3 weeks to absorb minerals using the metallothionein 3 pathway, which is one of the ways that some of the minerals are held in the body.